we're back another Saturday. It's noon. It's the Watch Dawgz on our Black Media Network.
Robert, you got to share it on all platforms except.
Well, yeah. No, it's all of them. It's all
you didn't.
Which ones have
I
we
just
missed?
did it.
Which one you missed? We missed.
You missed 3 of them, but you're supposed to miss one of them. But you missed the main one was Facebook.
Well, no, Facebook wouldn't let me back on. But see, you talking administrative stuff right here, and these people don't hear that.
Yeah, still got to.
No,
they ain't gonna hear it if they don't see
it. But no, but yeah, they didn't let me. For some reason, it gave me an error last night. But yeah. So we just got out of an election, and we're going into a presidential election, and I know you shared an idea on the topic was how do we overcome the machine? And so, I think there are a lot of consequences to election, a lot of them. As a matter of fact, later on in the show, I want to talk about. I was in Atlanta. I went back through the Black Wall Street over in Southcrest. So we'll get on some of that, but let's open up with this idea. What is the machine? What are your thoughts on that? What is the machine?
Well, a machine to me is the machine is a group of entrenched people trying to tell us what to do. And they're backed by a bunch of people who has money in the backgrounds trying to influence them to influence us. And that machine, usually most people call them the establishment, but you're talking the machine and the establishment. I don't know what this guy, I'm looking at somebody at my door and I don't know what he's doing at my door.
He might have the machine with him.
Yeah.
Well, no, that makes sense. And so, what I'm hearing and what people, we don't do a lot of voter education on this show, but what people don't have an easy job doing is recognizing smoke and mirrors, right? And so it's like, and I'll try to talk very high level. You have a person who has a lot of wealth, right? Let's just say the Koch brothers. The Koch brothers have a machine, right? The Koch brothers, as you all don't know, they're 2 white males that own a lot of assets. They have a lot of money. And so they influence elections because they'll support a certain candidate and pour in millions and millions of dollars in assets. And that means I get more mailers, I get more TV time, radio time, I get more visibility in front of the voters. But that doesn't necessarily mean I am the best candidate.
Well, most times with the machine, they'll never have the best candidate. The machine usually have somebody they're trying to put in a position so that they can control outcomes and they can dictate the narrative. So that's what the problem is with the machine. But we're more powerful than the machine. The machine just went up against us the other day, and the machine only got. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Okay, and share on the thing.
You got it? Hey,
no, you mean the numbers?
No, this is what I'm talking about. When they put together a machine,
right? Okay.
When they put together a machine, these are all elected officials. Right here. Every one of them are elected officials, even my child. She's on there.
Right.
And she's with these people here.
Right.
That's 9 elected officials there supporting this woman on the left. And she won by 9 votes. 9 votes. I heard it was 6 because they found 3 provisional ballots or something must be. But let's say she won by 6 or 9 votes, one of the 2. And this is what I'm talking about with the machine. So when we try to beat them with regular people, it's about 4 or 5 elected officials of small towns in the area.
Right.
Those were elected officials of big places.
Right.
Um, and well, two of them are big places here, Bernetta and Alicia. But what I'm trying to say is that we got people from that's entrenched in the area. All of us are West Side people. All of these people are from all over except for my daughter. She's from over here. But um, all these people are from another side of town. Van ain't even from Savannah. You know,
Right,
he grew up here.
right, right.
But they only won. What I'm trying to say is that they only won. I knew the race would be under 100. I knew it. That's why I told this lady to follow my lead and just follow me. But she thought that the text I sent her after it was nasty and mean. I was being straightforward. You know, I sent her a text, you know, I told her, say, the only reason you lost is because you didn't follow what I told you to do.
Mm-hmm.
I guaranteed her a win. These people can't beat me out here. If the candidate follows my lead, they can't beat me out here. I don't give a damn who they got. They could have brought Obama in. If the candidate follow what I'm telling them, you will not beat me out here. But she, you know, they didn't seem to want to. They wanted to follow other advice, so you got other results. I would have got you the results that you desired.
Well, and if you go back to that card, you know, the one with the current mayor of Savannah on there, what I want people to understand is you had a majority. What I mean by a majority of the opinion versus the minority of the opinion, and that should scream volumes to people. On that other card, where you had Bernetta and Alicia, you had people who are advocates for the community, who are boots to ground business owners, in trenches with the people. And I just want people to realize you got to be able to decipher between what is a group of people who are for community growth versus people who are for the establishment and the money folks, the big wigs of the business. So these elections come down to business versus communities.
Well, it does to some degree. I don't care what businesses they have or who they have. If we do what we supposed to do, now I can't blame all of that on this lady. I can't blame all of that on Ms. Bowles, because we got to foot some of the responsibility also. Because if we won't change, we got to show that we won't change. If we won't change when early voting started, we should have been right there in the mix, helping to get the vote out. All of us, not just me, all of us needed to be there. We can't just put a mouth on it and say, that's what we're going to do. We got to put a body on it and be out there proactively doing what we're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have to put our money where our mouth is. You know, we put our mouth where our money is, or however that saying goes. We got to do something to make a difference. We can't just keep talking about it. And all we're doing right now is talking. We all get in these groups and say, okay, we're going to help. We're going to do this here. But no, we should have all been there in your election. It should have been 30, 40 of us out there strong doing what we're supposed to do. We got to be able to say, hey, let's get on a van and let's drop a group of people over here and tear this neighborhood up. Tear it up is what I mean by canvassing. Let's take that group after they finish there. Let's take them to another neighborhood, 8 to 10 people, and let's put out this paraphernalia that we need to put out. We have all the tools in place to get things done now. Transportation farm. We got all we need. We got the group of people. We got the canvassers that we have to pay, but that's all we really have to pay for is the canvassers and gas and the van driver and stuff like that. But all of us who want to change, we got to come out and say, okay, let's make this change together. let's get out here and really hit the streets. Let's get out here and really be on these corners. 10 votes was all this woman needed. She could have got that off on my street.
Yeah.
If she came and did what she's supposed to do and knock on doors, she could have got off my street. You can't blame nobody else but yourself, because if you're not listening, see, you got to go places where there is high voter value. You can't go places where there's low voter value or no voter value. If there's no voter value out there and you done bled it for what it is, look at the numbers. If a area does not vote, then don't spend your election time in it. Do your pre-election time in it. Do your off-season election time in it. But do not do your election time in that area. You're wasting time. Go to the higher value areas and do your work. They're going to come out to vote. Those are the minds that you got to change. And you can't get this in people's mind because some people are lazy. Some people don't want to listen. Some people don't want to put the effort in. And those people, I say, don't get into this because it's not for you.
I'm making notes so that we can keep track of our topics. But it's time for a commercial break. And then when we come back, one of the things I would like us to talk about are the consequences. And so, we talk about we have an establishment or those of individuals who want to maintain a status quo or keep things as usual versus those who see how keeping things as usual impacts the community in whatever ways. And so after the commercial break, let's talk about what are those consequences when we allow the machine to kind of just take over.
Hello, I'm Richard Coleman, and I'm running for the office of Sheriff of Chatham County. And when I'm elected, I promise to inspect what I expect. Chatham County, it's time for a change, and that change is me, Richard Coleman.
So we have an upcoming election, and we know that the sheriff election, as many of them, the presidential election, all of those are extremely important. There are consequences to the elections, right? As we see in Chatham County, Savannah, Georgia, we have an arena that has been constructed right near a historically African-American Black neighborhood. And now we're calling it the Canal District, and they got all these plans, they being the establishment that then threatens that Black neighborhood because then SCAD gets full reign at that Canal District. The other part of that piece is I know Alderwoman Bernetta Lanier has a great idea on the old waterworks building, where we know that this mayor and his cronies, along with his bag of tricks, want that building to be for something not pertaining to Black communities. However, Alderwoman Lanier has a great idea to turn that building into a space like the Black Wall Street in Stonecrest, Georgia. People, you got to understand that I don't care if Van is your man, you got to understand when you vote for the Van crew, you're putting your communities behind 100 steps. And that's not a shot on his personality. His policy is horrible for Black communities. It just is. I can separate the person who's a pretty cool person, I guess, from the policymaker who is garbage. He's a garbage policymaker when it comes to our Black communities. But then when you have Bernetta Lanier who's saying, hey, let's turn that waterworks building into a space where small businesses can thrive, where our communities can have an economic driver, we've got to start listening a little closer and stop following behind people who are leading you down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. I'm sharing something real quick.
Okay. And while you're talking, Julius, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to find a video the new Black Wall Street so people can see what we're talking about. It's one thing to talk about stuff. It's another thing to find an actual visual so people can recognize and put, eyes to this thing. Have a visual image of it.
Yeah.
And, when I was walking through it, it's just, and I had a friend of mine with me. He was amazed to know that, wait, this is all just Black businesses. And people say, well, why you just gotta be black businesses? Why we gotta focus on black? Because we've been focusing on everybody else's stuff for years. Can we focus on our stuff and give ourselves some credit just for one time in our life? Is that a problem? I don't understand, sometimes our folks. But let me play this and we'll come right back. Let me get it queued up here and give you a little more time to do what you're doing. But people, we've got to take a serious look at what we're doing when we go to the polls. It's no longer about. Hold on, Julius. It's no longer about making sure my friend and my homie or my church member, but we had to play the piano at my church, or my godfather, the godfather of my child. Get out of that mindset. Start thinking about what our communities are gaining, are losing, are becoming because of who we put in office. So let me play this clip really quick about the new Black Wall Street. This is how an election has outcomes. You get people in office who advocate for our communities and who put things like economic drivers in place. So let me play this really quick. I'm muted.
I would like to get to know if it could be the girl that you could be down for. 'Cause when I look at you, I feel something tell me that you're the kind of guy that should make a move on. And if I don't let you know, then I won't be for real. I could be wrong, but I feel like something could be going on. The more I see it wrong, then it becomes so true. There ain't no other for me, it's only you. Be down with what you go. Wanna be down. I wanna be down. Yeah, I wanna be down. No matter the time of day and night, it's gonna be down. Wanna be down.
I'm just gonna fast
I'm out here
forward.
with the 700, 3 look alive. Niggas came up on this side, now they on the other side.
Women clothing from small to plus size.
Thank you.
Please come and see us. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank
Look
you.
at all the beautiful quality clothes that she has. Come check her out.
Thank you. Yes.
You can't be replaced. So no one else do.
So that's what we do here. As you go with. We at Star Status now.
Hey, Top. It's the greatest street in the world. This is Star.
So I share all that to say, if we follow behind Burnett Lanier, what we can make it for that old waterworks building, but we want to follow behind the Van Clan and continue to destroy our communities.
Well, and I took a whole group of y'all there. And remember, I took everybody to Atlanta, and we visited this place.
Yeah.
So we've been in all the shops there. I took about 13 of us on our team that I took there. And that was the idea that I had for us doing a model of that here. And that's what we want to do. We want to be able to promote Black businesses here. It's not about anything that we can't support white businesses. It's just that we're on the bottom of the totem pole where we need to start building our own and supporting Black businesses just like we support all other businesses. Mm-hmm. And that was a prime example of that place. I don't know whether the Waterworks building is big enough, but we need a big place where we can do something like that, where we can go into shops. A big Waterworks building might be big according to how much of it is.
Because I don't foresee us. The one thing about Black Wall Street and Stonecrest that I don't think we need necessarily in Savannah, but I'm not the expert, but the ballroom spaces and all that, I don't foresee that being a necessary thing. But again, that's just me being anecdotal right now. Mm-hmm. But again, the thing is, elections have consequences, right? We know in Atlanta, Georgia, they have Cop City being developed. Again, you have people who are for it, you have people who are against it. But if you don't go to the polls and you don't put people in place that are going to advocate for things that you think are important, then you fall victim to these issues that will plague your communities. Right
Well,
here in my backyard, we got the fairgrounds. Still a flop. You have somebody who's been in office over 12 years, another person over 16. You do 16 and 12 at a minimum. That's 8. That's almost 30 years. You got two people who've been in office for 30 years who can't even lift a simple project like a developing a fairgrounds area. And the people done told you what they wanted, but you still can't get it done because because the establishment doesn't want what the people want. We stall the project.
and that's true. We just got to be able to come. Our biggest problem is we're not together. We need to get together and not only politically, but we need to get together economically. We got to be able to support each other. We got to be able to pool our monies together and get all the things done that we need to get done. We have become lazy. And Brother Umar, you know, a lot of people don't like Umar, but you got to listen to this brother. Mm-hmm. He's telling you facts that you don't want to hear, but they're true facts. And people just have to start putting themselves in a position to listen, because we can do a whole lot. We can do a whole lot together, but we've been conditioned to not want to do anything with each other. And that's our whole problem right now. Our problem is we don't want to work together. We think it's anti-American. They have us thinking, you know, they have us hating each other. We're the only race on the planet that hate each other. You know, so it's a lot that we have to do. You know, if I love to build something like that out here in Port Wentworth, where everybody would come, just like Stonecrest is not in Atlanta,
right?
In the Atlanta area. So Port Wentworth is not in Savannah; it's in the Savannah area. It's part of Savannah. So just having that economic driver to come to Port Wentworth, Garden City, or any of these places. Matter of fact, Robert, they're building warehouses everywhere, and a lot of these warehouses are empty. So if we had the gumption, to get together with some of these empty warehouses and say, okay, well, we want to rent this warehouse, and we make that out of the Atlanta Black Wall Street. Mm-hmm. You see, and we have the Savannah Black Wall Street here, you know, and we could do that all over, not just here in Atlanta and in Savannah, but we can do that all over. Jacksonville is next. It's almost like a flea market.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And it's open. I think the one in Atlanta is open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's open Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's only open.
And I'm not sure about that. But to your point, and let me say this to our businesses, and I don't mean no shout out. I don't mean to be funny about it, but you know, it will be helpful. We got to have a steady schedule. You know, some success comes with critique, and this is a critique. And I want to go back to that comment. I was going to get your comment on that. But we do have businesses where we come in and we leave and we open and close how we want. We got to be a little more strategic about that. You know, I'm not telling people how to operate because I know other factors, but we also got to be mindful that when we open these businesses, we got to be a little more consistent on how we operate, because we are not we're competing with a much bigger establishment, right? So, but go back to that comment. I definitely wanted to get your feedback on that before the next commercial break. But our weakness is that we are divided. Our strength is for us to become more united. So I agree with that. That's a loaded topic. I mean, a loaded comment there. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
What you mean by loaded?
Well, you know, I agree that the weakness is that we're divided. But you know, that has, like you said, has been a conditioned thing, and we could talk about that for all. That's a topic for all day. Another one that we could talk about all day is that for us to become united, And Mercy Prosper, would be nice for you to kind of share more about that. Becoming more united as a community means that we've got to each take part in listening, sharing, and wanting to share and collaborate. We don't have that. And going back to this idea of the establishment does not care anything about sharing with the less than. The establishment does not care about sharing with our young people who are out here killing each other. The establishment doesn't care about its communities. The establishment cares about getting more money in its pockets and getting more real estate and making sure that they gain, and the least of those get nothing. And so we can't become united with a philosophy like that.
That's correct. The establishment doesn't want to share. They only want to take in. We're supposed to be giving. We work all day so we can pay bills. And our community, we need to have some financial literacy. We need to have some literacy on legacy literacy. Because we're leaving nothing. We had our show the other day. You want to leave a will or a bill. You're leaving your people bills instead of a will. If you left a will, you left them something in the will. It's money, or property, or something, a business. But when you leave a bill, all they got to do is go get a GoFundMe now to help bury you. They got to go and do fundraisers and sell dinners and everything so they could try to bury you. And you don't want to leave that. You want to leave something where there is a legacy. We're working toward the wrong things. We rather go spend $500 on a ticket to see Janet Jackson or Jay-Z, which is worthless. There's no value in it. We do unvaluable things that in our community. And we've been conditioned to do this. We spend money on tennis shoes when your bill for the lights are still due. You spend money on going to the washer to wash clothes when you can go buy a washer and dry and wash your own damn clothes. It's a lot of things that we are doing in our community that is counterproductive to our progress. Yeah. We cannot elevate ourselves out of this sunken hole until we start to understand what we should be doing. And it's a problem. And and think about it. We're the only people talking about this on this platform in the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
We're the only ones. We're the only one with a platform like this. We're the only ones with our own Roku channel. We're the only ones with our own magazines. We're the only ones with 20 plus shows on all the social media platforms. We're the only ones doing these type of things. And then we're trying to get the radio station also, a digital radio station, so we can put this news out there in every way so you can't say that you missed it. We're trying to give you that type of information. That's what it's about.
That's it. All right, we're going to hop into another commercial break. One I'm really excited about. Just happy to see Patty out there doing her thing, so you all hold tight.
I'm Patty Hewitt, and I'm worried about our future.
Last one?
I think about my grandkids and the belief that they deserve every opportunity. And what you deserve, what coastal Georgia deserves, is someone who cares more about their community than about corporate profits and big pharma.
I'll see you later.
All right, thank you. Small business owners and hardworking Georgians are the heart of our community.
Have a good day.
Not CEOs, not lobbyists, not shareholders, but who's taking care of them? It's time to ask yourself, what do you want from your government? This is our year to stand up against what we know is wrong. No more DC politicians invading our home life. No more racism that kills dreams and spreads violence. And no more corporate greed at the expense of workers' rights and our environment.
So what would be the most meaningful help to you?
I've spent the last 8 years working behind the scenes, mobilizing our communities for positive change. And while that is really important work, I can't stand by and allow the same tired politicians to run this country, the same ones who've neglected the real needs of Georgians. I'm ready to take our seat in Congress so I can fight for you and your families.
I vote for you.
Thank you, my darling. I love you. This isn't about party lines. This is about voting for a better future for more Georgians. Enough is enough.
All right, so we know that Patty Hewitt will be going up against her opponent for the 1st Congressional District. We have Joe Biden going up for the presidency with Kamala Harris as his VP. And we got Richard Coleman running for sheriff. Get it right this time, people. Good God, we have fumbled the ball. You know, so go the Falcons, so go Georgia.
Yeah. We got to get some change.
So
there's going to be some change.
I'll tell you. So you made a comment earlier about how the voting, the numbers. So the numbers game. You know, one of the things I used to tell people when I ran for Public Service Commission, and this is for any Democrat in Georgia. If you're running any Democratic race in Georgia, especially Patty, listen to me. The numbers tell you you've got to turn at least one, if not two, of your rural areas. You got to turn those numbers in your favor. So, for example, let's just use Patty. She's running 1st Congressional District. She's going to carry Chatham County without a problem, I would think. The problem becomes when you get down in Ware County, McIntosh, Camden, Liberty, all of those counties. You got to keep hold of Chatham. Bryan, you got to maybe flip. Liberty, you got to hold on to. But you got to get down there in Ware County, McIntosh, and all of those. You got to flip 2 of those or it's a wrap. It's a numbers game. And you know, even when we ran for city council, I knew that I probably wasn't going to carry Liberty City, but if I could carry all these other ones and maybe compete in Liberty City, we have a good chance of winning. The problem becomes when your stronghold areas don't get out to vote. And that's so important. People don't understand that numbers game. People, we got to get out here and vote. Because if you're, like you just said, if only 10 more people would not have been lazy, you know, that election would have been flipped out 1 vote.
A bunch of my friends, but I wanted to inspire them by having her come out here and wave at the people, talk to them. Mr. Barbie was going to take her around to meet 30 or 40 people. That's the difference maker. Those people aren't energized. Those people aren't motivated to go vote. But when they meet you, then and they promise you that they'll give you their vote. If you met 40 people and 20 of them go vote for you, that's her difference right there.
Yeah.
You know, you go into the supermarkets out here, there was absolutely none voter value for her in Garden City or Hudson Hill or parts of West Savannah. She could have spent her time out here and in the Highlands and won this race easily. That's why I guaranteed her a win if she listened to me.
Yeah.
But she did not. The last 4 days, she dodged me because she was listening to somebody else and didn't want to come do what I had for her. And I was doing it for free. That's the bad part. I don't do shit for free.
Right. Well, and let's help people understand what you mean by numbers. And I don't want you to tell all the secrets, but what people fail to realize is when you have a well-established group of people who are elected, and I must say, you know, even though, and I'm going to say it out loud, you know, Marsha Buford is not the best candidate. But again, Savannah tends to run behind celebrities. We are a star-struck community. Well, if Van and Stella and them say it's right, then it must be right. Well, they just raise your taxes and your rent, and you still ain't got no plan for stormwater. So let that sink in. You still ain't got no fair ground. You still ain't got nothing in West Savannah, and you still ain't gonna get nothing. But again, because you think everything is because they are in office, you think they are the experts, and you're gonna lose out. So how do we flip that with numbers? How do we get people to understand that your vote does count?
Well, it's going to take, first it starts with us. See, we aren't doing what we're supposed to do. We have the mechanisms now to put in place where we could say, okay, let's meet at, everybody meet at one place and then jump on the van. And let's go canvass these areas as a team. We can do that. We don't have to go and do anything out of the ordinary. We have everything in place to win, except the will to win. You know, we're not together. We're not organized. We have all those things in place. We have we want to. We talk about it in our circles, but then when it's time to show up, oh, I got to go over here this day. Oh, I got to go do this here. Oh, nobody's committed. Out of 10 people, then you got 7 that don't show, and you got 3 people trying to do the work for 10. Numbers are powerful. People only respect numbers in everything in the world. They only respect numbers. They don't respect anything else. I don't care what it is. If your numbers aren't right, they don't respect you. And that numbers, that means your money, or that means bodies. That's what they respect. Money or bodies only. And if you got money or you got the bodies, they have to respect you. If you don't, they don't give a damn what you think. What you think they do with our community now? Why do you think Van and them do what they do? Because those people understand that we are going to complain, but we're only going to complain for a very short time, and then it's going to be forgotten. We give up too easily. We do. In this community, we give up too easily. We got to be able to want to say that what I'm fighting for, I'll die for. But no, everybody's scared to die. You know?
Well, you made a good point earlier too, about making sure that we put priorities in place, right? We don't put priorities in place. And as I think about this, I'm very concerned. We have and I don't have anything against pastors being in office. We have way too many pastors in these elected officials, in these elected seats. One of the reasons why that's dangerous is politics and church, as we know, don't need to be together. I'm sorry if you don't like it. You don't like it, too bad. My biggest issue, and this was a conversation, this is why West Savannah missed out and will look real bad. That alcohol overlay conversation needs deeper investigation. I come from a city council district, where that's a hot topic. We've got to realize that what happened 10 years ago, where people went to the liquor store and the bootlegger and they hung out and they got drunk and they fought, those days are gone. That's just not how things work anymore. Stop living in your ancestral past and step into a 2024 where people go get drinks and they cool, or people go get drinks and they go about their business. Nobody hangs out in front of the store no more. They don't do that no more. And so what we do when we have an alcohol overlay, we have people that look like us, like Rashida Edwards with Vintage Entertainment, who can't compete with the bigger establishments, who can't compete with Victory North. And so when we can't compete, we have to shut our doors. And so I said it at the Hungry Club Forum, and I said it here. It's time out for people who look like us on that city council and the Marshall Bufords of this world who are anti-black business. We don't need that in those seats.
Well, Robert, it's an easy fix if people just think and stop getting in their feelings. It's an easy fix if they just think. Is there alcohol overlay in the 2nd district? How many liquor establishments do we have in the 2nd district? 300-400?
There you go.
300 or 400 liquor establishments in the 2nd district. There's no alcohol overlay in that district. What they should have done, if there's a problem, and we see that there is a problem in certain districts, then what they should have required, instead of putting an alcohol overlay, what they should have done was put conditions on having to serve alcohol, like more security because of this area being prone to certain instances of violence.
Right.
You know, then you, instead of having 2 officers, we don't have a problem with you, but every event you must have 4.
There you go.
You know, put a number on it. It's an easy fix, but see, You want to restrict my economic growth so that somebody else can grow economically in that field. You want to, it don't make sense. All they got to do is just think.
Yeah.
That's their problem. They don't think. But let's just put an alcohol overlay on. That's the easy fix. That's the easy way to just get out of it instead of sitting there and saying, let's think about it. How do we do this here? Okay, we know that, they had one incident over there one time, I believe, at Rashida's place before she owned it. This was years ago.
Yeah.
And so, and then they got on there and lied, and Marsha Buford lied that they went the other day and said that they told Rashida about that she couldn't get it before that, and that there was alcohol over there. They didn't never tell that girl that.
Yeah, they lied. They lied on her.
And I'm not against Marsha Buford. I'm just against the lies. I'm just against people who don't have the best interests of the community in place. And I don't like people doing what they did by putting her in that position. Even and I ain't talking about the county commission position. I'm talking about the neighborhood association president position.
Oh,
now they and Van went there and appointed her, which is damn illegal. And what
Stella did the same thing in Liberty City.
Yeah,
with Glenda, who don't even live over here. So this is what the establishment does.
Yeah, and so we got to be able to say more. See what they're counting on. They're counting on us just for us to just complain for 2 or 3 days, and then that's it. That's what they're counting on. But what we have to do is also show them that, no, with our complaints, we're going to bring numbers. And with those numbers, we're going to bring a lawsuit. If you're not willing to step up and do what you have to do and show them that you mean business, they're going to laugh at you. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens. They're going to laugh at you. So we got to be able to put ourselves in a position and to show them that we mean business. We don't do that. And shows like this is shows that bring information to our community. And if we're not watching these shows and sharing it with somebody and telling them what we're doing, and so that they can be a part of the change, then you're not wanting change. You want somebody to keep their foot on your neck.
I want to, before our next commercial break, I think, Jamal Touré, before I say this, he's hard on me a lot of times in what he says, as evidence, credence, and you got to listen to him. But he says Caucasian business owners want the alcohol because it brings them cash, money, revenue, and they can get approval. They can get the approval. That's what he's saying. Yeah, they get easy approval, as well as the East Indians. But black folks get denied. And we know this by the numbers. We have pure evidence. The numbers show us that the majority of African-American businesses in the city of Savannah, for example, are denied. I'm not going to use a bad word. What even is more interesting to me is on Victory Drive, we had a crew lounge. I don't know if you all know what crew lounge is around the nation. We had a crew lounge on one street that was already, they checked all the boxes. City council said do ABC. I did ABC and D. Got there, and we had an alderwoman lie, tell a bald-faced lie. Linda Wilder Bryan lied and said, well, the community doesn't want it. That was a lie because you're going to build an Aldi right next to it. And guess what Aldi sells? Wine.
Yeah, so wine and beer.
Y'all keep following the establishment, and the establishment are tearing down your neighborhoods.
Yeah. And it's crazy that these people get away with it. Again, when Todd ran against Linda, we all should have been out there advocating for Todd. When Dietrich don't want to do what he needs to do, we should be on a bus, all out there jumping off all together and spreading out, going. Every street, talking, knocking on doors, talking to people, getting them to understand the issues. And when you don't do that, the people aren't paying attention. They just feel like, okay, everything okay. But when you sit and you explain it to them, see, they ain't going to do that because they're just throwing money at it. We got to throw numbers at it. We got to throw power at it. We got to throw our bodies at it. You know, when we go and we advocate in these communities for change and tell the people what it is. And if you go out and you talk to the people and you go to these grocery stores, people understand it. I was at every time I go in the stores, I don't know these people. I've met them, but I don't really know them. You know, but one of my campaign models was, I'm going to know your name when I'm mayor. I'm going to know your name. You're going to know me, and I'm going to know you. If you go to these stores and you talk to these people, they will be inspired that you thought enough to stop them and talk to them.
That's true.
I had people stopping me yesterday. I don't know. I've seen them before, but I don't remember their names.
Right.
And they're asking me, am I going to run? Are you running again? Are you running again? No, I'm not running again. But
I get it. Trust me, I get it.
Yeah, but it's not. I'm not running again for other reasons.
No, I get it.
And so I'm more effective outside of being in the office. So, but you have to go and I could have brought her out here and she could have met 200 people at the grocery stores. We got a Publix right here, and a mile down the street you got on the same street you got a Food Line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got a shopping center full of people. You go and you talk to these people. You go into the stores and you meet people. That's what I did when I was running. I met everybody. That's why everybody knows my name. People were hollering, "Hey, Julius," yesterday. I don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be able to be that type of person. I told my daughter, I say, "Hey, you're spending too much time with that one person.
Mm-hmm.
You're spending too much time with that one person." I said, "Go meet everybody. You the mayor pro tem. Go meet everybody. Everybody should know your name before election time.
Yeah,
they got to know the things that you're doing so they can say, hey, oh, I met her. I like her. I'm going to vote." What other reason they got to go vote? You have to be personal with these people. Why do you think Van is so good?
Mm-hmm.
It's because Van gets out there and he talks to people.
Yeah.
People got to understand how to politic. If you don't know how to politic, you got to make people love you.
Yeah. Listen, and which is really, it's about relationships, you know. And this is the thing I've learned, and I think you and Charlie definitely will say this. When you're running, so I've run a state and a local campaign. Statewide, you can get away with some things that you cannot get away with locally. Statewide, your goal is to energize the party. Nationwide, Biden's job is to energize the party. When it gets local, your job is to energize relationships. Because, like you said, if they don't know you, or if they are resistant to you, that word of mouth and that resistance is going to carry. And you want to combat that by having the relationship with the people. And sometimes the relationship with the people isn't enough. So, but let's go back to our last commercial break, because I don't want our executive
to run.
Coleman. We need Coleman in office.
Oh yeah,
I'm going hard on that. I don't care what Linda said. Coleman for sheriff.
Hello, I'm Richard Coleman, and I'm running for the office of Sheriff of Chatham County. And when I'm elected, I promise to inspect what I expect. Chatham County, it's time for a change, and that change is me, Richard Coleman.
So, you know, Coleman, we got to have Coleman back on. I will hope that we can do a big pizzazz live park show somewhere, maybe at Kim's Cafe with DA Shalina.
Well, we are doing something in a couple of weeks with where we're going to ask everybody, especially black men, to come stand up behind him. So we'll be doing something in the next couple of weeks.
So
be holding a couple of fundraisers and everything. Trying that's and getting some things done. We set we need Shalana Cook Jones back in, so because she's been an advocate for our community, and not many people who take those positions advocate for us.
There you go.
And it's about being leveling the playing field, being equal for everybody. And that's one of the problems that we have in our communities, that we don't have that. And so we'll I think we'll eventually get it together.
And Jackson John or John, he put this comment: people need to understand your future is tied to good leadership. I just kind of ad-lib that, but that's true. So we know right now we have 5 candidates for president, and I played. I don't like the word devil's advocate because I don't advocate for the devil, but I played. I wanted to stretch people's thought process and critical thinking over a couple of months. But at the end of the day, out of all the 5 candidates, we are facing a national, international conversation and crisis. And that ought to tell you, good leadership means voting in Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the only candidate that has the experience to deal with this foreign issue we got going on right now with the wars, the tensions. And so I want us to put on our critical thinking hat. Let's take off the hat of friend and pastor and piano player and God. Take that hat off. Put on your critical thinking hat. Who is best equipped to get the job done with the experiences they bring to the table? And so we have a national election coming up. We know that Trump is a felon. Why in hell would you put a felon who will be in prison in front as the world leader, the leader of the free world? You would put a felon who is in prison to lead us through a war. When you got a capable man who's been in these spaces, who's done foreign relations, who has sat with foreign leaders for years, why would you not put that person in place? It blows my mind how stupid we can be. And I know that's a strong word, but some of us are stupid because we go to office and, I get it. I get the economic value of Trump, but right now your ass ain't gonna have no economy if you ain't got no planet to be on.
That's right. That is absolutely correct. You ain't gonna have nothing here in America for us. They're putting Umar Johnson made a brilliant analysis, and in his analysis on a video I saw earlier this morning, he said that they're letting the Hispanic people into the country, and they're bypassing all the states where there's nothing but land. They're bypassing South Dakota, North Dakota, and Iowa, and all these states, and they're taking them to Chicago. They're taking them to LA. They're taking them to New York and Atlanta. Mm-hmm. What does those places have in common?
Mm-hmm.
They're black Mecca. They're black thriving cities. Black. Why are they putting the Latinos in those areas and dropping them off? Why? Think about it. Why are they dropping them off in those areas? So they can compete with us. So they can be at war with us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why? If you care about them so much, then drop them in those areas where there's plenty of land. Let them get out and do some great things, and
Martha's Vineyard.
But they're putting them the same place where we are, so that there can be wars amongst all of us.
Mm-hmm.
It's a plan. These people have thought about this shit for years and years. It's a plan. Evil.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, man. So, we got to think. When it comes time, you got to think.
You got to think. And that's the most, I think, as we close out and bring it full circle, how do you beat the machine? You use your critical thinking skills. That's it. That's it. Bring it full circle. So before we get out of here, what we got? We got America After Dark tonight.
9:00.
Tomorrow we'll have Political Spectrum at 6. And what else we got throughout the week?
We got Pastor Smalls at 6:00 tonight also.
Okay.
Got Pastor Smalls at 6. You got but you watch Pastor Smalls first on Saturdays. You watch him on Unity Political Action Committee page. then you watch them the rest of the week on our page because we are
Right.
rerunning. That's at 6, and at 9 o'clock you got America After Dark tonight.
Mhm.
James they had a special guest. I think they got R. Kelly on there tonight.
I
So
can't
y'all
stand
watch.
I can't stand y'all. I can't stand y'all.
They got Michael Jackson next week, if I'm not
Oh
mistaken.
Lord! Oh no! Oh my God!
I think he said Michael Jackson or somebody. James is great. He's a great comedian,
Man, he's on it.
and y'all got to watch him. America After Dark tonight at 9 o'clock.
All right. Well, we had a great time today. We'll be back next Saturday, same time, same place. Y'all have a great week, and make sure you get ready to vote and get 10 people energized to vote with you. Take care.
All right.
Like that.